Hello and welcome everyone. I hope everyone is doing really well. My name's Matt. Welcome to the stream, episode 2 of Broken Sword, the Serpent's Curse. Hopefully makes good progress like I did last week. I was pretty happy with how things went on Friday's stream. I'm really bad at this, remembering where I've actually got to. But yeah, I think we made some decent progress, and the game worked. I'm going to say flawlessly. It didn't seem to go wrong. So fingers crossed we'll have the same success, unlike we did with Broken Sword 4. So yeah, let's get on into it. Hopefully there won't be any videos that we're going to necessarily have straight away when we start over. Aha, I remember we just got to London. Now we're here. I remember we just got to London. And I was saying that basically, yeah, this does not look like London at all. There's across the river from Is he not going to scroll over here? Oh, okay. I can't get George to move. But yeah, over here they had Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament, and across the road they've got these big houses. And I'm pretty sure, if my memory says, there isn't like any residentials. It's all kind of like museums and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I don't think that's particularly the most accurate thing. Okay, we want to probably go into this building, one would suspect. One thing this game does miss, which the last one did have, is a run button. Yeah, she's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so we'll try the intercom. But I hope everyone's Monday is going okay.
No answer.
Just try the gate. Locked.
It's locked.
Okay, well. Chat up the gardener.
Excuse me. Hello?
That's I was going to say that's accurate.
Darling, this is a private residence.
Yeah, that's fairly accurate still. Just generally rude.
So?
I love the fact that our card's still got chewing gum on it.
We have important business with Mr. Medovsky.
And who the hell might you be?
I'm Nico Kalar, and this is my colleague, George Stobart.
Well, isn't that cozy? Can you count, darling?
Yes, of course.
Well then, 1, I don't know you or laughing boy here from Adam. 2, you ain't got no business round here. And 3, I don't like French birds. Comprenez?
Well, he's charming, isn't he? Yeah, what an absolute charmer. I'm glad we've come. Well, that window's open, so can we break in? Oh, actually, that window's open. We haven't got anything useful, I don't think, to... Yeah, I don't think we've got anything we can particularly flash. I could try the card.
Showing him my press card would have blown my cover.
Okay, we're going to have to try chatting to him again, I would suspect then. Because there does seem to be a distinct lack of anything else to do.
Guess who?
What do you want?
I don't suppose you know Mr. Medovsky's driver, do you?
Maybe you didn't hear me the first time. Get lost.
I said he's an absolute barrel of laughs, this guy.
Hi, guess who?
What do you want?
Do you work for Mr. Medovsky?
No, I'm standing here pruning his edges for a laugh. Course I blooming work for him. Look, will you stop asking all these blooming questions? Can't you see I'm busy?
Well, there's obviously something we can do.
I had tried the intercom once already. There was no answer. The gate's lock was controlled remotely.
I mean, I'm seeing that sprinkler, but I can't see any way of turning it on, I don't think. And can we go anywhere? I tried to walk a second ago and she wouldn't actually go anywhere off the screen, so I don't think we can actually go anywhere here. Yeah, it's not giving me the option to actually walk anywhere other than where I currently am. So I think I've got to be very friendly to this bloke. I've got to try and win him over with my wonderful smile. Yeah, the camera won't pan to where she is.
The gate lock was controlled remotely. It was the intercom system for Modowski's house.
I'll have to keep just chatting to him, see if I can get him to open up to us.
What do you want?
We really need to see Mr. Modowski about a most important matter.
Someone's stolen his
Why
painting.
are you still here?
He hasn't actually bothered to ask what the important matter is.
Hi, guess who?
What do you want?
We really need to
Okay.
see Mr. Modowski.
So that's not going to get me
about
anywhere.
a most important matter.
You really don't know when to give up, do you?
No, no, really we don't.
The bush was perfectly shaped.
Just in case I'm missing something, but I really don't think I am.
It was topiary in progress.
Wow, riveting stuff.
It was a bush, but was it art?
I wonder whether I can move George, but apparently not.
Hi, guess who?
What do you want? I thought it was going to ignore us again then.
Showing him my press card would have blown my cover. Nice bush.
Bush? This is so much more than just a bush.
Oh, I am sorry.
It's art, love. Or to be precise, topiary. And as everybody knows,
Topiary is a transitioned form.
that's right. A statement of man's dominance over nature. A metaphor for the human condition.
And yet,
It's not enough, is it?
not for the big questions.
Life, death.
Right and wrong.
Tell me about
No,
it.
the ultimate question
You
is
struggle, monsieur?
life, the universe, and everything.
That is the human condition.
Can we ever escape it?
It is possible through meditation, contemplation.
Oh, the bonding. This is
I
sweet.
see.
It is our only salvation.
Well, you've given me food for thought, you have.
Anytime.
Get a room, you
Much
two.
appreciated. At a difficult time.
You are welcome, monsieur.
So, anyway, this is my latest piece. What do you think?
It's alright.
It's very nice.
The phoenix, is it? It's not an eagle. It's not a bird. I think it's a phoenix. Oh, all these are wrong.
Bush. Yes, as bushes go, it's lovely.
Oh, I knew it. I'm being too ambitious. A few basic geometric forms and I think I can rival the great Cneius Matthias Calvina himself. Well, better to know now. Appreciate the honesty. It's a pleasure to meet someone I can trust.
You're welcome.
Now
We have important business with Mr. Modowski.
I need a good reason to bother the boss with this. He's a busy man.
Oh, there we go. We've moved it
I
on further. That's
understand.
good.
But I think he'll want to speak with us.
What makes what you have to say so important?
La Maledexio, a painting that belongs to him, has been stolen.
Well, we're
If
disputing
he
the fact that
wants
it
insurance
belongs to
claim
him.
processed quickly, then he'll want to speak with us. I think he might be annoyed if he finds out you never even told him we came around, right?
And hey,
Okay,
Jess, how are
okay.
you?
Three-headed monkey.
Hang on. I'll phone him
Welcome,
now.
welcome. Hope you're doing well, Jess. Had a good Monday.
Yeah, Mr. Modowski?
Yeah,
This one, the Maledict here. Yeah, Serpents. French bird. Yeah.
Ah, okay, that's
Yes,
fine.
boss.
I appreciate you dropping by. Enjoy Warzone.
You've piqued the boss's interest. That isn't always a good thing. The gate should be open. I'll take you inside.
We're in. Hooray!
Follow me, please.
I thought I was in with Sylvester Stallone there.
Mr. Medovsky will be right with you, madame.
Well, we're in. Now what?
We'll make him think we're all set to pay out on the policy. See if we can get him to talk.
It's Vladimir Putin.
Welcome, welcome.
Good day, monsieur. My name is Nico Collard, and this is my assistant, Georges Tabar.
You are here to discuss La Maledictio, yes?
Correct.
I am surprised to see you. My agreement with the gallery specified that my ownership should be kept in the strictest confidence. It would appear that agreement has been broken.
A man has been killed, monsieur.
An agreement is an agreement.
Okay. Let's go softly. Should we go? I think I'll go softly, softly. Did you not think that guy looks like Vladimir Putin? Maybe just me.
My apologies for disturbing you, monsieur, but I'm afraid we must ask you some questions.
So be it. The loss of a painting is nothing compared to the loss of a life. Ask away.
Yeah,
How
we'll ask
did
the questions
you
about the
come into
painting
possession
first.
of La Maledictio?
I purchased it at auction.
Did you know Henri, the gallery owner?
Oh, purely on a professional basis. My restorer recommended his gallery to me.
Did you ever meet him personally?
No, only via email. I rarely fly. I'm carbon neutral, you know.
Very conscientious, monsieur.
He doesn't look very carbon
Well,
neutral
the
to me.
planet won't save itself.
Your restorer, how does he fit into all this?
Hobbs. He did a little cleaning work on La
Yes, I'm assuming we probably need to
Maledictio,
look for this
that's all.
Hobbs character.
We have reason to believe that the theft was an inside job.
Oh,
Getting
that is
offensive.
terrible. The staff at the gallery were so pleasant to deal with, but such is human nature. I trust this won't delay the insurance claim.
I'm sure matters will be sorted out soon. What
He obviously knows
connection do
about
you
it.
have to Vera Security?
We know and he knows that we know that he knows.
I've never heard of it.
There is strong evidence that ties you to Vera Security.
Oh, you are beginning to sound like a policeman, madame.
We are merely doing our jobs, monsieur.
Insurance
must leave no
investigators
stone
are
unturned.
pretty...
I would leave
Thorough.
this particular stone unturned if I were you.
I'd rattled him, but I didn't want to push too hard. Of course. We will check our information again.
I would do that.
He seems lovely.
Do you have receipts for the painting?
Of course, I have already sent them to your office.
These things take time to process.
What is there to process? I own the painting, someone stole it, and your company provided me with insurance. I am the victim here.
A state you share with the deceased, monsieur.
I think that is enough.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we're getting very
When do you
much from him
expect
here.
the claim to be paid out?
It will not
Momentarily.
be long, monsieur.
When exactly? Surely you can give me a date.
Yeah, that doesn't work like that.
Monsieur Medovsky, I'm sure you...
Please excuse the interruption, sir.
What is it, Shears?
Hobbs is here.
Tell him I'm
Ooh.
busy.
He mentioned the portfolio, sir.
What's the betting that this Hobbs character is going to have that tattoo on him?
Simple instructions.
What do you reckon this guy's got
Please
that
excuse
tattoo on
me
him?
for a
Just a
moment.
bit of feather up his arm.
The gardener's called Shears?
Yeah, probably not what his mother christened him.
Okay, I'm guessing they're going to leave. We're going to be in the room for a minute, maybe.
What a creep.
Okay, we can
Clever
investigate the
creep at
room
that.
quickly.
We got nothing on him, and he knows it.
He just brushed off the Vera connection. We need something else to get under his skin. I could use Marquez as leverage.
Yeah, it's just one man's word against another.
So what else can we do?
Investigate the
Let's take a
room.
look around. Maybe there's something here we can use against him.
Yeah, as I said that.
Good idea, George. You search, I'll keep watch at the window.
Yeah, somebody said on the last playthrough that they thought the graphics for this weren't that great. I think they look quite good, to be
left
honest.
the cabinet open. On the shelf inside was a business card and a scribbled note. I picked up the business card. It read, Wilfred Hobbs, Fine Art Restoration. I made a note of the address. Then I put the card back where I'd found it. No point arousing Medovsky's suspicions.
Let's
The
look at
note
this
read,
note.
L. Serp drawings for you to check. W.H.
Now we're cooking with gas.
I wondered if the painting could be in the portfolio that Medovsky had taken. See a penny, pick it up, then all day you'll have good luck.
See, George Stobart, thief.
A Russian imperial egg. It looked rather plain. It was a thank you note from a British politician. Huh. Medovsky certainly had some dubious friends.
Yeah, with an a British politician, it's pretty dodgy.
Everything was in Cyrillic, except for a number. 1869. Everything was in Cyrillic.
I thought I could turn the page.
18...
Okay, so we can't turn the page.
I suspected the medals weren't from the Moscow Debating Society. I suspected...
Okay, so don't think there is anything else of relevance. Doesn't look like there is there anyway.
It seems Armadovsky has friends in low places.
Yeah, British politicians. Can't get much lower.
It's like my boss said, the guy wants to be a player.
Can go through the door potentially. Voucher.
It
Big
was a
voucher.
Russian privatization voucher. I wondered why Medovsky displayed it so
There's a
proudly.
mark underneath it. Not sure you guys can see that, but it looks like
It was a Russian
it looks like it
privatization
moved.
voucher.
This looks like scratch marks or something underneath it. That could just be me. Probably seeing something here.
It was a beautifully inlaid cigarette box. The catch had snapped.
Have we got anything we think we could open it with? Maybe
The
that?
paperclip just flexed and slipped off the catch. By extraordinary good fortune, the coin I'd picked up was the perfect shape to flip open the broken catch. Fancy that. Keys
we
are
have a key.
always useful.
Cigarettes.
Romanovs. The same brand of
Ah,
cigarettes.
of course,
that
yeah,
were
they got
in
the
ashtray in
golden
Vera's
tips. They were
security.
all in the cigarette thing. Okay, so that's useful.
Can you hear what they're saying?
Yes.
You should not have turned up here, Mr. Hobbs. I made it clear I would deliver the package later today.
I wanted to make sure it got to me all right. I've got a lot of work to do on it.
This
Would
is
you,
most
would you trust your
inconvenient.
fine art with somebody who owned this van?
Medovsky's arguing with his visitor, Ops, about the portfolio.
That portfolio is important. I'm sure of it.
Okay, I'm just going to try the door. Probably going to need the key.
It was locked.
Well, I figured it probably would be. So let's try that.
The study door's open now.
Ta-da!
Hear anything else interesting?
Hang on.
Listen, Hobbs, just take the portfolio and do your work. You are nervous, and I don't like that.
Understood. I have got a few questions, though.
I do not like questions either. Hurry
Hello,
up.
cat.
I noticed a couple of people arriving. Who were they? They look like coppers.
They were from the insurance company.
Has the...
Hobbs is going to head off with the portfolio. Whatever's in there is important. We need to stay with it.
I got Hobbs' address from his card. When we're done here, we should check it out.
Okay, Josh, but hurry. Medovsky will be back soon.
I'm gonna check out the study.
Okay.
Sorry if I'm leaning a bit weird. My cat's just down here. She's decided this is the moment she wants to come in and show me some love.
Wow, there must be millions of dollars worth of art on these walls.
Or they could all be copies.
The drawer was open. My heart skipped a beat. But inside, I saw only a candy bar wrapper.
Yeah, but we might need to know what that candy bar is. It could be really relevant.
The desk was magnificent.
Okay, so we've got cylindrical characters, so we can do something with them.
Filthy habit. The chair was fancy and probably more expensive than it looked. Those two little holes were just waiting for me to put my fingers in. I resisted the urge.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, George. Okay, have we got anything that might help us decipher this puzzle?
The letter mentioned a guy called Medovsky as the owner of Vera Security. The completion note from Vera Security.
Hey, Sai, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Finally, a game that sucks less. Yeah, well, to be fair, we've had 2 wonderful episodes of this now.
That wouldn't have worked.
I didn't do anything. Obviously, this is obviously a puzzle, but not one I'm succeeding with at this moment.
The painting reminded me of my Aunt Maud. I'd never liked her. The painting reminded me of my Aunt Maud. I'd never liked her. These paintings would have kept a critic enraptured for hours, but I didn't have time to dwell.
I'm sure we're going to have something more interesting to go through. Don't see the point in making a phone call.
I didn't need
Oh,
to call the
no, I
bro-
didn't mean to click that.
It was the old coin from Medovsky's library.
Gonna let Trevor out. Trevor will help me.
That was almost a great idea. Almost.
Okay, I don't think there's anything I can do in here for the minute. I think I might be missing something out here that I need to do first. And hey, Nick, how are you? Hello. GLHF. That doesn't necessarily mean anything.
I should have guessed.
Oh,
Keyboard
okay.
was Cyrillic. I tried to remember how that row of keys read on a
That's-
US keyboard.
I'm assuming they do QWERTY as well, don't they?
That would be pointless.
Yeah, so I'm assuming if you're doing Medovsky, it'll be I'm trying to think, because that's going to be... That looks like a function key, but I don't know. That could be QWERTY. Oh, that's going to be the end. That's going to be the enter key. That's probably the delete, is it? Are we saying that's M or that's M? Or that's M?
ZX. I needed a keyboard for reference.
Phone? No, won't let me do that. We haven't got a keyboard, have we?
It was a Russian privatization voucher. Medovsky had an extensive collection of management books. The 7 Secrets of Leadership, 2009. The Business Bonaparte, 1983. Office Eagle or Management Mouse, 1998.
Anyway, how is everyone doing in chat? Are you all doing well? Certainly hope you are.
Shh. I'm eavesdropping, Josh.
Not doing too badly. Good, good. To anything interesting today, anybody? I've just been working, so nothing particularly interesting from my front. Oh, actually, could that be the keyboard from the telephone? I doubt it. How many?
The letter mentioned a guy called Medovsky as the owner of Vera
There's
Security.
8 letters. 8 letters in his name. And there is more than 8 here. So one of those could be enter, I guess, maybe? I don't know. I'm wondering whether that was his name. He pushed them in the order of his name, and then you can figure it out.
Large Cyrillic letters were carved into panels on the side of the desk. I should have guessed. Keyboard was Cyrillic.
Yeah, I'm assuming those 2 keys there are obviously exclamation mark and star, and that's probably a... So I would say that means that is that going to be Q or is that going to be Q? If you're looking at QWERTY, that probably looks like a function, like a capital letter. So I'm probably saying that's probably Q, and they're probably not relevant either. Probably just sort of... Oh, that's another one. That's an exclamation mark. Ah, of course, I'm actually talking crap because that's all right. Okay, so that's probably all of those are going to be irrelevant as well. You'd probably say it's just these ones in the middle here, potentially. What have you got? You've got 11 keys. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. That would be counted if that was a top row. Hello again, cat. Because that would be maybe that R is maybe the E. If you go with that being the Q. But I would be missing a key then. Unless it's different on an American keyboard, but I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure. Well, they do. Some of them are AZERTY, aren't they? I would have thought they would do that on an American keyboard. Must be an easy way of figuring this out.
That wasn't worth trying. That wouldn't make any sense. That wouldn't have worked.
All right, let's go. Let's do this a different way. We'll go back and I'll go and have a look at this, and I'll see if I can draw what they look like, and then I'll go back with these to see if I can figure out what I think they may be. We've got sort of an R symbol. We've got a H. We've got an S. Sort of an A, but with a kind of roundy bottom. What I'd just class as an A. Then sort of B looking symbol. Sort of omega sort of symbol. E symbol. And the Z with a little kind of kick at the bottom. Okay.
I should have guessed. Keyboard was Cyrillic.
So that's one of the keys. That's the other one. Maybe I type it in that order, so it'd be that one.
I tried to remember how that row of keys read on a US keyboard. A, S, D, G, or F? Ugh, I couldn't remember.
Ah, so he's saying that's the middle row.
Z, X. I needed a keyboard for reference.
Right, so I'm going to say that's then. So that's Z, X, C, V, B, M, N. No, that wouldn't be right though, because none of those link into anything I've got. Yeah, because none of those are the letters. That's one of the letters I've got. Okay, so let's work this. So let's work on that assumption then. So that would be this row. So that would be A, S, D, F, G. So that would make that one G. H, J, K, L. Oh, that's not going to be right. Then that could not. That might not be it then. So that would be L. Where's the hell's that one? I'm sure that was one of the ones I'd had before. Did I not draw that one right? No, maybe I didn't draw that one right. Maybe that's not. That's an L actually. Let's try that one as L. That's the Omega key. So that would be Q, W, E. That'd be E. That'd be E. R, T, Y. Okay. So that says that one's Y. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Hopefully this will work itself out in a minute. That would be U. Maybe this is not just alphabetical order. Maybe this is you push the buttons in alphabetical order. So the H would be I. Oh, timed out. U too big for ROM 9. Oh, I'm gutted. So that was H was I, and that would be O then. The Amiga would be O. Right, okay, so that would be Q then, I think that was saying. Q. That's the B, so that would be W. And just checking, oh, there's another E. Is it that? It was that E. I'm sure it's a sort of, yeah, it's a round E. Which would be after the A. So it would be, I'm not sure it's that A or that A. Because if it's that one, that's probably going to be Q, W, E, R. What will be R? Either L or R. And that would be T. Most of these look like they're on the top row, don't they? I'm assuming, oh, maybe it's the order they appear on here then. So which case, that would be number 1. Then that would be 2. That would be 3. That would be 4. That would be 5. That would be 6. The Z would be 7. The H would be 8. And that would be 9. That looks like a good order. That would make a lot more sense to be in that order on the top of the keyboard. Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's down to the order they appear on the top row. Okay, so let's try this. That one should be 1. 2 is B. 3 is the R. 4 is that funky A thing. 5 is the E. 6 is the S. 7 is the Z thing. 8 is the H, and that would mean that one's 9. Now what? I didn't do anything, did it? Damn it.
Those 2 little holes were just waiting for me to put my fingers in. I resisted the urge.
I'm sure that was the idea. I'll try it the other way. So the order of the letters from lowest to highest. So I think I have an E, which is that one. Then I will go with I, which is the H. Then, so it depends if that other A is whether that's going to be an R or an L. I think it's R, so I think I'll leave that one for the minute. Would be Q, which would be that one. Then R, which is the funky A. Oh no, that's O, isn't it? Oh sugar, no, I've got it wrong. Go back in again. So it would be E, I, O, Q, R, T, U, W, Y, I think. Let's try this. So that'd be R first, then the H, then the O, then the Q, then the R, which I think is that one, then the T, then the U, then the W, then the Y. None of these are doing anything. Unless, like I said, the other thought process is that could be an L, which would mean that that one, the R, would actually move. But that doesn't make any sense. They do come across as being the top row of the keyboard. Unless it's the order they appear on the keyboard. Which would be QWERTY. That would be Q, W, E, R, T, Y. U. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm missing a couple. U, I, and O. Yep. We'll get there eventually, guys. It's got to be one of these. Right, so Q, I think, is that one. Then W, which I'm positive is B. E is the R shape. And the R... This is really weird. The R is the A. Then T is the E. Y is the S. U is the Z key. The I is the H. And then that one. Come on, do something. It wouldn't. It would be nice if it actually
The
kind of.
lettered panels appeared to conceal buttons.
Yeah, well, we've got that bit. I guess they conceal buttons, but
The lettered panels appeared to
yeah,
conceal
the whole point of
buttons.
them concealing buttons and being buttons, you know, we got I guess that bit really quickly, but it doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, I can't think of which order to put these in. Let's go back to the keyboard and make sure that I'm not being completely dim here. Having got them in the wrong
I should
order.
have guessed. Keyboard was Cyrillic.
So yeah, so definitely think that would be the Q key. The B would definitely be the W key. If we're thinking QWERTY, it doesn't really it doesn't really matter. This is the orders from left to right. So it definitely would be the sort of alpha key, then the beta key, then the R, then that funky A thing, then the E, then the S, then the Z, then the H, and the Omega, or the O. That's definitely the order. So I'm positive that's the order I just typed in. Absolutely positive that's the order I typed in.
I should have guessed. Keyboard was
Or
Cyrillic.
do I do it the other way around? Do I have to type it in here? No,
I
because you won't.
didn't know the symbols. If I'd been able to remember the layout of a US keyboard, I might have been able to figure it out.
No, so I don't see what relevance that is. So I don't think those letters are gonna spell anything. Because they're not gonna spell anything. I don't think, anyway. I mean, that spells, you know, or the order that they appear on the thing. Go back in again and just double check that it's not, like, you know, I can't spell anything with it. So based on this then, so it starts with the R one, which is an E. Then it's the H one, which I think is I. Then the S one, which is a Y. Then the A one, which is a Q. Then the other A one, which is an R. B, which is W. And the Omega one, which is O. Then T. And then U. I mean, that makes no sense. So the other way around, taking this information and taking that to the keyboard, it's not going to help me. Hello. Have fun. I can't spell Medovsky with that one. Maladicio? No.
The letter mentioned a guy called Medovsky as the owner of Vera Security.
Vera? No. Security? No.
It was the old coin from Medovsky's library. It was the key I'd found in Medovsky's cigarette box. I couldn't call Rickenbacker without a reason. I needed to see Medovsky's proof of ownership.
Might go and talk to Nico and see if she's got any clues, but...
Vera Security had disconnected their phone. There was no point in calling.
Okay. I think there's just a little bit of something I'm missing here.
Nico?
This conversation outside is like the longest conversation that anyone's had in the entire world.
I'm eavesdropping, George.
Yeah, helpful. Thanks, Nico. You're very helpful. I really appreciate your effort.
Medovsky in Libya. Happy days. What kind of guy hangs a picture of himself and Colonel Gaddafi on the wall?
The kind who will commit murder in order to steal their own painting.
She has a point. I'm pretty sure she has a point.
Medovsky had left the cabinet open. On the shelf inside was a business card and a scribbled note. Everything was in Cyrillic except for a number. 1869.
So that doesn't mean anything to the letters I've got either.
I suspected the medals weren't from the Moscow Debating Society. I suspected the medal... It was a thank you note from a British politician. Huh. Medovsky certainly had some dubious friends. A Russian imperial egg. It was Hobbs's business card. I'd already taken the address down. The note read, L. Serp drawings for you to check. W.H. It was Hobbs's business card. The note read, L. Serp drawings for you to check. W.H.
I mean, I haven't got those letters either from L. Serp. No, haven't got all of them. This is going well. This is going well. I'll just be in this room for about a month. It's fine.
Romanovs. The same brand of cigarettes that were in the ashtray in Vera's security.
So I was looking at that, thinking, could that be it? But not all of the symbols there. I mean, unless it's... I don't know. I just don't know. I'm seriously drawing a blank here. Something really logical, but I'm just not figuring it out.
Medovsky had an extensive collection of management books. I knew we should wait for Medovsky.
I also think you should close all the cabinet doors you've left open, but, you know. This is George. Never does anything logical.
Medovsky certainly loved art, or pretended to. Medovsky had a truly impressive
I
collection
wonder
of
if any of
paintings.
these are going to spark anything.
Medovsky had a true... The painting reminded me of my Aunt Maud. Medovsky had a truly... Medovsky had a truly... Medovsky had a truly...
Yeah, truly.
Medovsky had a...
Okay, let's go back to the desk again. Is there anything written on any of these?
Filthy habit. Filthy habit. The chair was fancy and probably more expensive than it looked.
Can I do anything with a cigarette cutter? No, I don't know, just start
That
trying
was
things.
never going to happen. That wouldn't have worked. That was almost a great idea.
Can't interact with anything else. Nothing else apart from these bits. Nothing on the side seems to do anything. Just those buttons.
Those two little holes were just waiting for me to put my fingers in. I resisted the urge.
You won't interact with it either.
That wouldn't have... That would be pointless. I needed a better
If anyone in
idea.
chat's got any bright ideas, I'm willing to listen to them.
Nope. I needed to try something else.
I'm positive I've put them in, I've gone through them and tried to put them in QWERTY keyboard order. I mean, there's the reverse QWERTY order I haven't tried potentially. So I could try it backwards just because I haven't tried it yet. So that would be that one. That one. That one. That one. See, the music makes me feel like I'm on the right track, but I'm definitely not. I'm completely lost where I am. Right, it's the funky A. Then it's the E, which is the R. W, which is the B. And a Q, which is this funky A thing. Nothing happened.
Those two little holes were just waiting for me to put my fingers in. I resisted the urge.
There's nothing opened up here for me to interact with or anything. I'm assuming it's the wrong order. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, I'm going to have to resort to being rubbish. Because I'm definitely not getting anywhere here. Tra-la-la. Oh, I'm a lot further down here than I think I am. Right, okay. Oh, it says the numbers that correspond to English numbers. English numbers, okay. I can't see any of them which correspond to English numbers. Because I figured they were all letters.
I should have guessed. Keyboard was Cyrillic.
Oh no, I'm being stupid. I am being stupid because that's.
To remember how that
Oh, I'm being really dumb. I have been really dumb. Yes, because that.
ASD.
Yeah, because that's the middle key. That would be the Q's. This would be these would be the numbers.
F.
Yes, if it was 1869, it would be the funky A thing. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is the H. 69. 9 would be the omega, and 6 would be the S. I keep saying I don't consider myself a stupid person, but I feel really dumb playing these games. I do feel really, really stupid playing these games. Right, so that would be that one, that one, that one, that one.
A secret drawer popped open. I knew that publication date would be significant. At last, I was going to discover Medovsky's secrets. It certainly wasn't Medovsky's sock.
Please don't judge me, people.
Hey, Nico, come see this. I think we've struck gold.
Hang on, I'm coming.
Look, a letter from a guy called Gainin. His company, Wolfram, want to purchase La Malediccio. They're offering way over the asking price.
Anything connecting Medovsky to Vera?
Well, let's see. Here we go. A lease for Vera's security.
Aha! Then we have the proof we need.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really mess with this dude. This dude doesn't come across as being somebody who's
Waterloo Motors, one
going to take
helmet.
much of this
These are from
nicely.
Paris. Madame La Trex, Hotel Britannique, pizza. Nico, pizza. I think your friend Shears might just be Henri's killer.
Georges, what have we got?
I told you probably that tattoo on his arm's probably covered up by that shirt.
I just heard the front door close. Medovsky's coming. Put everything back in order, quick!
Right.
Moments later.
He'll never suspect we just ransacked his house for evidence.
Georges, the coin!
Damn, no time.
Look cool, Nico. I'll handle this.
I apologize for the lengthy wait. As you can imagine, my time is at a premium.
That's fine, Mr. Medovsky. I think we're almost finished anyway.
And payment?
Very soon.
He's
monsieur.
keen, isn't he? He's
Very
mega,
soon.
mega keen.
Is there anything
He obviously
else I
hasn't
can
had to claim on
assist
insurance before. I suppose if you're probably spending that much money, then, you know.
Is that a first edition of War and Peace?
you? Of course. Printed in 1869. A great year for my country's literature. And Tolstoy is the master.
You must be upset at the theft of La Maledizione.
Yes, I'm disappointed that someone would kill for such a minor piece.
We don't
Is
think
that
that it's
a
minor when
picture
someone's
of
offered you a
you
stupid
with
amount of money for
Colonel
it.
Gaddafi?
A deeply wonderful man. He was a great fan of the Impressionists.
Well, he certainly left quite an impression on Libya.
Ba-bum-bum-tsh.
Nice collection of medals you have there, Mr. Medovsky.
I earned them serving my country.
Anywhere interesting?
No.
Chechnya. Ever been there?
No, can't say I've had the pleasure. So, what brought you
I'm
into the art
looking
business,
for how
Mr.
George is
Podolsky?
going to sort of sort the situation out. I'm not very optimistic. He doesn't seem to be doing a very good job of sorting this issue out.
Fine culture and a love of what you Americans call the greenback.
So this Hobbs guy, good friend of yours, is he?
No, we simply have a business arrangement. We've been through this already. Now please, if you're quite finished, I'm a busy man.
Thank you for your time, Monsieur Medovsky. We'll be in touch soon.
Well, no prizes for guessing where we go now.
Hobbs' place, right?
Typical British taxi, pumping out loads of pollution into the atmosphere. Like I said, from where I know here, pretty sure you walk across the bridge, and then just here, you've got things like the Sea Life Centre and a few other bits. I can't remember what's down here. There's about several museums and stuff, and other things like an art. I think it's an art gallery and stuff just here. So this building wouldn't actually
Looks like
be there.
rain.
Just saying, you know.
Come on.
Not trying to be
let's
that
get
picky.
cab. Taxi?
I think we just stepped off the London tourist trail.
I guess this Hobbs character doesn't like visitors.
Not the kind of place you'd expect to find a restorer of old masters.
Unless you didn't want to attract attention.
He's attracted ours. Let's see what Mr. Hobbs
Yeah,
knows
I would
about
not trust this guy
Maledizione.
with anything.
And let's try and get a look inside
Even a
that
fake picture I
portfolio.
wouldn't trust him with, because look at the state of this joint. Terrible. Yeah, not somewhere I think is particularly good. But bear with me 2 seconds, I'm just going to trying to increase the game audio a bit because I've got a limiter on it. I think it looks pretty low, so we'll just bring it up a little bit. I'm just going to quickly tweak this a wee bit as well. I don't know whether that'll make any difference whatsoever, but we will hope it will. Yeah, so let me know if my audio is terrible. It shouldn't be. I'm I always try and be optimistic that it's going to work okay. Sounds fine. No, that's something. Yeah, just changed my noise gate a little bit. I'm trying to see if I can get the audio down a bit. Hey Graham, how are you? I'm waiting for the audio.
Avocados from Mexico.
I love that sort of sound. Yeah, I'm doing good, thank you. Doing good. Is it Friday yet,
I
though?
wouldn't have been able to break the chain. Or the padlock.
I've had mega busy
The
day
door
today
was
at work.
locked. Looking through the window, I could
There's
see
never
that there was
never
nothing
seems
in
like
the
there's enough
van.
time in the day.
Hobbs must have taken the portfolio
Yeah.
inside.
Never looks like there's enough time in the day. So what diet are you on, Graham?
The hood was definitely stuck.
Are you calorie counting as well, or are you doing something different? I can't remember what you said you were doing. Yeah, he is. High protein, low calories. Right, okay. Well, that's going to be... Is that like the sort of keto diet sort of thing, or is that something, am I thinking wrong?
Slosher.
So I know that's a protein-rich diet, the keto diet. So turn the handbrake off. Interesting. Honk the horn. Honk.
I decided to leave the handbrake alone. Not a sound. The horn wasn't working.
I'm amazed anything's working in this bloody thing.
I popped open the van's hood.
Although to be fair, I've seen worse vans coming around to do quotes for stuff.
The engine was held together by rust and dirt. Everything was covered in a sticky film of dirty black oil. Half the wiring wasn't connected to anything. It was clear why the horn hadn't made a noise. Neither hornpipe was connected to either the battery or the cab.
Okay, so I'm meant to hook
It
this
was
back
one
up
of
again?
2 horns in the van. It didn't seem to be connected to anything else under the hood. 2 wires hung loose from it. A loose wire hung from the left-hand horn. If I had some spare cable, I could connect it to the wires from the cab.
Oh, we haven't, have we? No.
It was the van's engine. I didn't really have any reason to sabotage it.
So Graham's doing... you can eat whatever you like, but replacing snacks with whey protein. Okay, sounds fun. 1,600 calories a day with 350 calories exercise. Okay. Wow, should lose about 2 pounds a week. Cool. And you want to bulk out. So basically you want to look at the Hulk. My diet's not going too bad. I had a small drop again this week. We had an increase in weight after the
It was one of 2 horns in
after
the van.
Easter.
It didn't seem to be connected to
yeah,
anything else under the hood.
Seem to be back on track again
2
now.
wires hung loose from it. A loose wire hung from the horn. If I had some spare cable, I could connect it to the other horn.
But we don't. Unless I can steal some
A
cable.
bundle of short, severed wires was connected to the battery. None of the wires were connected to anything. A bundle of short...
Take the wires then.
It was the van's engine. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. Many of the wires seemed to lead nowhere.
Yeah, unless I'm missing a wire or 3.
It was the van...
Okay, do we think there is somewhere in here that I can find some more wiring? Check the dumpster maybe? Okay, I'm not seeing anything here.
The van's hood was all... The large dumpster was full of garbage.
Helpful, George.
Piles of junk, mostly boxes of old paints and scraps of picture frames. Mixed in were wires, cardboard, and some dubious-looking old clothes.
Wires. Pick up the wires. Do you pick up the wires? Oh, got a telephone call.
George Stobart.
Ah, Monsieur Stobart. I trust you have obeyed my instructions not to leave Paris.
Of course, Inspector.
Just a little bit.
You clearly know which side you're
Well, I'm
playing.
just about to play the best bit of the game. Okay.
Now, I
No pressure then,
require your
Jess.
presence tomorrow at the murder scene for a reconstruction.
I see.
12 o'clock sharp, monsieur. Or, as you would say, high noon.
Sure.
Any failure to comply, and I shall have you extraordinarily rendered. Have a nice day now.
And you.
What does extraordinarily rendered mean?
That was Nave. We're required back at the gallery tomorrow.
You're gonna
for a
freeze me in
crime
carbonite.
scene reconstruction.
Let me guess. Non-attendance is a criminal offense?
You got it.
Okay, it's
I
good.
had found just what I needed. 2 lengths of wire.
There we go. We have wire. Right, back to the bonnet.
The engine bay was a mess.
Okay, so apparently you connect that. Oh, actually, he's already done it. Okay, and then we do that one to that
I
one.
connected the wires from the cab to the horn.
And that's it, isn't it? And then do we want to push the horn? Possibly? Because I'm assuming the doors and stuff won't open. Highly bile beans. Healthy, bright-eyed and slim. Lovely.
I don't think there's anyone home.
There's a light on upstairs.
The seagull.
It was Hobbs's mailbox. There was a note hanging out. For a second, I debated the morality of mail snooping. It was a short debate, and I won.
And so he steals mail. Jesus,
I
George.
decided to open the letter. Dear Mr. Hobbs, due to previous incidents, we are writing to inform you that we will no longer be sending models to your address. It
Oh,
went on to discuss Hobbs's temper and other alleged infractions, some of which still carry the death sentence in certain less sophisticated cultures. Interesting. This could come in useful. The letter advised Mr.
okay. Well, so I want to see. I want to know what it says. What did he supposedly do? He was probably a bit handsy, is what I'm guessing.
The horn wasn't working.
I mean, the horn wasn't working. Thought I just repaired the horn.
I decided to leave the
I'm obviously missing something again. I thought I'd fixed it. I thought that was the whole point.
a loose wire.
Right.
I used the wire to join the battery to the horn.
Am I missing a wire here?
I connected the wires from the cab to the horn.
Yeah, but that's not probably where I want it to be. Have I got a third one? No. Because ideally you want the same... Because that wire needs to be connected to that wire, really, I think.
There was already a wire connected.
So you've got to have the battery connected to it, because otherwise nothing's going to go. It's not going to go off if it's the wrong one.
I used the wire to join the battery to the horn. That would be pointless. I connected the wires from the cab to the horn.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to work. I'll try it, but I don't think it's going to work. Because you need to have the two connected so you can get power to the...
The horn wasn't working.
Yeah, I think it was going to, unless I'm missing a wire here.
A pile of... There was nothing else of it. There was nothing else of interest in the job.
Because I'm just thinking you've got to get power from the battery to the horn, but the horn's then got to be connected to the wiring loom so that when you push the horn it goes off, is my thought.
The van's window looked like it hadn't been washed for years.
Unless I'm really missing something here. Story of my day. Could I do something with the paper clip? What's going on? Well, I think I've got a bit make the horn sound. I'm guessing, but I've only got 2 bits of wire. I've got a horn here and a horn here, and a battery here, and then a wiring loom over here. Which I'm assuming the wiring loom goes into the car to the horn. I figure it's got to have power, so you've got to have one wire going from there to there. And then I'm thinking that you need to get power, because that doesn't reach anywhere. There's loose wire here.
A loose wire hung from the horn.
So I would try and connect that to this, but it doesn't let me do that. Unless I can cut a wire.
There was too much wire. That was the long and short of it.
Ah.
The wire was just long enough.
And then if I use the other shorty one over
I
here.
connected the...
There we go.
Everything was wired up. The horn had
There we
power.
go. That was actually very obvious, but just me being dumb again.
I figured that should get Hobbs' attention.
Yeah, see this van. Oh.
All right, hold your blooming horses. What are you up to with my van?
Hello there. We fixed your horn.
So I hear. Now what are you doing in my yard?
It's a very good question. I'm from the modelling agency.
Mr. Hobbs, do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Yes, I do. Bugger off.
Yes, you will answer a few questions?
No.
Yes, I do mind. Clear?
Not really.
Good. Now get lost.
Oh, back to the horn again.
Well, that could have gone better.
He's not exactly the friendliest of characters.
Yeah, neither was Shears. This is Jess's favourite bit, apparently. She obviously likes the sound of a horn.
For crying out loud, will you leave my van alone?
Sorry, just need a quick word, Mr. Hobbs. Afternoon, Mr. Hobbs. We're from the model agency.
About blooming time. I'm on a deadline. You better come up.
Okay. That probably wasn't quite how I thought it'd go, but hey, you know. There is something much better soon, Jesse says.
About time you two showed up.
Oh, we're gonna be life
I was just
drawing.
wondering if
Can it, Goldilocks? I don't have time for chit-chat. Just get undressed behind that screen.
Undressed?
That was the deal. An extra 20 quid because I need you with your kit off.
The studio was freezing.
And as for you, darling, no need to get undressed. I've got a vivid imagination, so I'll just use that. Either way, just go sit over there on that rug and give me your best belly pock floozy.
And she just does. Okay.
That's perfect. Just hold it there.
Nico made for a good distraction. I just needed to figure out how to get a look inside that portfolio.
Ah, portfolio's here. Ooh, can I... No.
How about a top-up, Mr. Hobbs?
Thanks, but I've already got a glassful.
There's a few fuse box I can play with. A lift. Okay. Ooh. Oh, I can put the negligee on.
Wow, an old Bofson Wang stereo. I hadn't seen one of those for years.
Okay, so anything we can do? There's a turntable, some vinyl.
Hobbs seemed to have a thing for 70s psychedelic jams. The stereo was switched off. Adjusting the volume wasn't going to make any difference.
I would...
I turned the volume up a few notches. I turned the volume down again. I turned the volume up a few notches.
Oh, thermostat.
Hey! Leave that dial alone. The heating gobbles up all the power and the circuits can't take it.
Sorry.
I turned the thermostat down again. I wasn't going to mess around with that wiring. The fuse box was emitting a sinister buzzing sound. Should have been condemned years ago.
It's probably going to be me putting the negligee on. Just for a laugh.
It was locked. I wondered what was behind the door.
Hey, stop meddling with that. The power's ropey enough as it is.
Blowing the power would certainly have distracted Hobbs, but the elevator alone wasn't going to trip the whole system.
I'm tempted to put that negligee on. Give you all a treat.
My, if it isn't George Stobart.
Lady Piermont.
Oh, really?
Oh, my.
Oh, I even said the other day, I hope...
Naked? Of course. As an artist's muse, one often finds oneself...
Oh, I did say in the last game, I hope she's in this game.
Don't be shy. Come here and give me a big hug.
That day was the day
She is
that I
naked.
Trapped, smothered, choking on lavender.
George, darling, pass me my robe. It's terribly cold in here.
Oh, is she going to help? Oh, look at her.
What you do with a blooming robe on? God help me, but you're supposed to be naked. I've got a deadline to meet.
Well, you won't be meeting any deadlines with manners like that. And besides, it's freezing in here.
Lady Piermont and I had met before. She was larger than life, in every way.
Right, I can probably refill his glass now anyway. Let's refill his glass. And I think I'm going to probably need to ask her to do the thermostat or the lift.
How about another whiskey?
Don't mind if I do.
Can I get him drunk? I don't know. Let's try this. He's going to have a go at me first.
Hi, what do you think you're doing?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to take a look at some of your pictures. You're very good.
I know, and that portfolio is private. I'm not paying you to go up around my studio. Get your blooming clothes off.
Sorry. Wary of any more life-changing surprises, I decided against exploring behind the screen.
Come on, Lady Piermont, are you going to help me?
Lady Piermont.
Oh, George, be a darling and sort the heating out in here.
I'll see what I can do.
Hey, I've told you don't mess with that thermostat.
Sorry, but Lady Piermont is cold. I thought...
Look, pal, I know it's brass monkeys in here, but the wiring in this building is ancient, and the fuse box won't take it. Her Majesty will just have to get used to chapel hat pegs.
Lady Piermont, Mr. Hobbs won't let me turn up the heating.
Well, we'll soon see about that.
How rude. Oh, go on, belt him one.
If you do not adjust the heating, I shall refuse to cooperate.
Lady Piermont, it's the circuits. They won't take the strain. You know what old buildings are like.
Why does she know?
In which case, I see no reason for this session to continue.
Whoa, Lady Piermont, let's not be too hasty. I'm sure I can accommodate your needs.
Good. Perhaps you can start by letting George here turn up the heating.
Oh, go ahead then. But be careful. The power in here is temperamental.
I turned the thermostat up as far as it would go. I wondered if the suspicious wiring could be used to my advantage.
So can we move the stool? Can we get rid of the stool?
I didn't need to sit. It was time for action.
Ooh, he's wobbling.
How about another whiskey?
There you go. Yes, please.
That's smashing. Pour away.
And don't call Lady Piermont Granny. God, Graham. So disappointed in you. We love Lady
A
Piermont.
word if I may, Lady Piermont.
For you, George, I'm all ears. How can I help?
Can you keep a secret, Lady Piermont?
I am the very soul of discretion, as you know.
You see that portfolio?
So basically, if she helps me out, she's actually a career criminal because she helped me steal a lockbox and now she's going to let me steal this.
Just give me the nod and I'm putty in your hands.
Lady Piermont, we need your help.
How thrilling! What do you need? Subterfuge? Legerdemain?
Actually, I just need you to step on that lift behind you.
Oh, but of course. Is this good, George, darling?
Wonderful.
Now, just stay right there.
I kind of want to
Lady
keep...
Piermont was poised on
I just want to kind of keep talking to him.
Excuse me, Mr. Hobbs.
Oh, what do you want? You're supposed to be sprawled naked on that rug with the family jewels out.
Oh no, Lady Piermont would like that.
Well, about that. Could I just ask you a couple of questions first?
Blimey, a model who's shy and chatty. It must be my birthday.
I don't think any of these
Well,
are
I thought you
good
were
questions,
restorer,
particularly.
But you're working on this painting from scratch.
Well, yeah. Look, some clients want a painting that they don't own, restored from scratch, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
Don't worry, sweetheart.
Graham, are you able to hear an echo from the game at all through my mic, or is it okay?
How long have you been using Lady Piermont as a model?
Using her? I can't get rid of her.
Okay, cool. I can see it on my side, that's all. So that's okay.
Oh, what's up? Afraid of these shrinking effects of a cold warehouse?
No, it's just...
First time? Little embarrassed? Well, if it helps, we can all get naked.
No, definitely not.
Well then, what are you waiting for? Let the monkey see the nuts.
We had a saying in the Stokely
What a
family.
great turn of phrase.
If a job's worth doing, then do it with your pants on. I'll let you get back to your painting.
You're too kind.
Okay, I'm going to push the lift button, see what it does. No rush, George, you know, take your time. Got nowhere else to be. Come on, George. Shifty.
Now was my chance. It was one of Hobbs' sketches. More of Hobbs' sketches. The model looked familiar.
I think it's that lady from the Henri's wife, because I'm pretty sure from the pictures on the wall there was that little mark, like birthmark or whatever it is, on the bottom cheek.
Impressionist sketches. Well, it wasn't La Malediccio, but it did appear to be a study for an element of the painting, the Ouroboros. There was something different about the image in the center. I figured the sketch might come in handy, so I took it.
Because we're a thief.
What the heck are you doing with those? They're private papers.
Huh?
Well, that was fun. Just like when you were a private dick, George.
So, you're not models?
No, Mr. Hobbs.
Well, you can't be a copper. You're not stupid enough. So what the blazes are you doing in my studio?
Stealing your shit.
We're investigating the theft of a painting, La Malediccio, by the Spanish artist El Serp. One of these sketches is a study of that painting.
Well, sure. Well, what's that got to do with that? I'm a restorer, and I restored it. I've got naught to do with what happened after that painting left this studio. How was I to know it was going to get Henri killed?
Hang on a second. How do you know Henri's dead?
Look, he and I went back a long way. The Lézard Bleu was on the rope, so I got the painting into his exhibition. Nothing like this was supposed to happen.
He seems quite reasonable.
We're not accusing you of anything, Mr. Hobbs. We just want to get to the bottom of this.
I get that, and I'll help you however I can, but this mess is way above my pay grade.
We have reason to believe that Medovsky is mixed up in the theft of La Melodic Seal.
Hey? What would he gain from stealing his own painting?
We have strong evidence that Medovsky is not the real owner.
You'll have a hard time proving that. Medovsky has a full set of provenances for the painting. It traces its legitimate ownership all the way back to the painter.
Why didn't Medovsky mention them?
Because they're not with him. Henri's got them. Or had them.
And Henri is dead.
So ask his partner.
Lane?
Lane, yeah, Lane. Look, pal, you're wasting your time looking for conspiracies here. And you're wasting my time if you're not actually going to get naked. Go get the provenance from Lane, and everything will turn out hunky-dory.
We're back again, right back round to Lane again.
Not my problem, darling. Now both of you, get lost. I've got a painting to finish.
And we have a critic to interrogate.
Someone's lying, but who?
Is it the gangster
Pigs
or
might
the
fly.
old Spaniard?
The painter or the art critic?
I need to head back for Nave's reconstruction.
What about the evidence from Medovsky's house? Will you give it to Nave?
But you got a bit early for the end of the conversation to load back in.
I can put a squeeze on Lane. Ask him about the provenance.
Good. I've got lunch with Ronnie tomorrow. This story is hotting up, and I want to make sure he keeps me on it.
Taxi?
Right, so I assume you want to go back to the gallery then. Listen, she's the one. I'm sure she's the one in the painting. So I'm gonna go chat to her. Don't know why, but let's go and chat to her for a minute. Well, I'm positive she's the one in the paintings.
The door was locked.
Yes?
Bijou, this is George Stobart from the insurance company.
I'll pass you in.
See, look.
Fortunately, Lane wasn't there. I wondered if Bijou could tell me anything new.
George, good to see you.
A subtle birthmark was the only blemish.
Same
on the
music
model's
playing too.
flawless Skin.
The stereo was playing the same tune over and over again.
And you haven't realised it's the same song. Okay.
Hello again, George. You neglected me yesterday, you naughty boy.
I was in London.
Oh, how exciting! I love London. Tell me all about it.
Maybe another time. I have some questions I need to ask you first. What's the song called?
Jasmine by the Hairy Lobsters. Before your time, I'm sure. It's a band that Henri fronted in the 70s. They got to number 2 in the Swedish charts.
Big time, huh?
Interesting. Hey, Kevin. How are you doing, mate? You doing well? Hope you were doing really well.
You said you didn't recall who painted that picture.
You know how it is. So many artists.
Wasn't it Wilfred Hobbs who painted this one?
Might have been. I don't recall him. Do you mind if we talk about something else?
I'm
I
guessing
don't think any of these
you've
are
had a few
particularly
drinks
relevant
concerning
questions.
the news.
Oh, just a little dry sherry to calm the nerves, to make the nightmare go away.
Do you know the owner of La Melodic Seal, a Mr. Medovsky?
I had nothing to do with all that, I told you.
Is there anything else you can tell me about the painting?
Not really. I was young and beautiful.
I wouldn't go that far.
So, the painting.
I'd rather not talk about it anymore.
Keep asking.
What's the story behind the stuffed dog?
Oh, Fifi. I was heartbroken when she went. I had her preserved so that we could be together forever.
That's very touching.
Isn't it?
I'm not sure I could do that. I love my animals, but I don't know if I could go that far.
Quite unusual these days to bring the coffin home.
Henri loved a good wake. Said they were better than any party.
Huh. Did you say you had nothing to do with the gallery?
I did, darling. I don't do paperwork. I model for the artists. I don't sell their paintings.
I was wondering if there's something on this left-hand side. It's possibly just a mirror reflection there. I'm trying to... Yeah, it probably is just very badly rendered.
Henri looks very peaceful.
Doesn't he? I wish I
Your
could
sleep
keep him
pattern's totally
here
backwards. Are you
forever.
working nights or something, or
Fifi?
something like that, Kavanagh?
Well, not quite like Fifi, obviously. I'm sure his killer will be found.
It's a cruel world that takes my Henri away from me.
I was sure she didn't want to see it.
Let's see if she wants to see Trevor.
Hey, this might cheer you up. Say hello to Trevor.
A cockroach?
I prefer the word pal.
And I prefer the word pest. Please never show it to me again.
Let's get it out again.
Bijou wouldn't want to see it. I figured Bijou had had enough to drink already. Bye for now.
Bye.
Not thinking there's much else going on. Feel like I can walk that way and I can't. Yes, I was positive that was her. So, glad I remember something. Once in a while, I do remember things. Okay, we'll go back to here and see if we can find Lane.
Here I was again at the crime scene. Inside the gallery, I could see lots of activity. Now they preparing for the reconstruction, no doubt. Nico and I had a good idea who the killer was. Now all we had to do was persuade Nave.
Is Lane going to be in his?
Sir,
Yes, he
I
is.
already
Brilliant. I'll
tried
do
starting it up.
chatting to him.
I think it's broken.
Nonsense, Moo. This machine has the power of 10 investigators.
But investigators never fail to start up, sir.
Your pessimism is duly noted, Moo. But have faith. This machine will analyze the scene, compute the data, and deduce everything for us.
So basically what you're saying is
The
you're making yourself
location of the
redundant.
second shooter
Clever, clever.
will be a mystery no more.
Second shooter?
One moment.
A marvel indeed, sir. Though at the moment, it is kaput.
Your pessimism has obviously infected the circuitry.
You're telling me to do that.
Let me think for a moment.
If I could just...
Shh. Eh bien, Moo, now try realigning the laser matrix.
Sir, I have no idea what that is.
Move over, Moo. Now, let me see. Oscillating reverberator? Check. Refraction spectrometer? Check. Now, what can I do?
It's tomato ketchup.
Ah, Monsieur Stobacht, it's only you. Glad
You've already
you could
spoken to me twice.
finally make it.
Inspector, I've got some good news and some bad news.
Oh, yes? I shall be the judge of that.
I think I know who the killer is.
Really?
Yep, he's
It
a
was
gardener
Professor
called
Professor
Shears
Plum
living in London.
in the library with a candlestick.
Fascinating. And the good news?
We don't need to do your reconstruction.
You joke with me, Monsieur Stubbat.
It's not a joke. This guy Shears was working for a Russian ex-mobster. It's all part of a highly complex fraud.
Gardeners, KGB, fraud. You are a fantasist, monsieur. And I have no time for fantasy. Reality is my suitcase, as you Americans say.
Do they?
Now,
Really?
stand over there and keep out of trouble until the others arrive.
Well, who are we waiting for?
Mademoiselle Collard and Father Simeon. Please, I am very busy.
Let's go and chat to Lane, perhaps.
Ah, Moo, a clever choice. But no cigar for you. Try the red.
Mon Dieu!
Okay, can I do anything? Yes. Can I try the door?
Monsieur Stobart, please remain within the main gallery.
Okay, well, I assume I may as well start the conversation with Lane while I've got the opportunity then.
Lane.
Stobart.
I gather you're the man to ask about the provenance for the painting.
For La Maledictio? Well, you have been busy, haven't you, Stobart?
I'd like to see it.
So speak to Bijou. She took care of the business side of the gallery. The provenance is in the office safe. She has the key.
Lane was a pushover when you had him cornered. Though it looked like Bijou hadn't been completely
No, 'cause
honest
she
with
said
me
she had
after
nothing to
all.
do with it, so she
I
was
needed to pay her another
lying.
visit.
What's the deal with that device over there?
It's a farce. They've been trying to get it working for hours.
Looks like something out of a 50s sci-fi movie.
It probably
You
is.
haven't worked in almost 10 years. I'm jealous. I haven't been working in all of 5 hours.
What do you think of Nave?
The man is a buffoon. I have better things to do than wait for these idiots to get their forensic whatnot to work. The only silver lining is that Nave seems more annoyed than I am.
What do you think of Moo?
Who?
The policeman with Nave.
I assume he's another idiot.
Why's that?
I believe one can tell a man by the company he keeps.
I'll bear that in mind, Mr. Lane. Okay,
Oh, I'd love
thanks.
to. Yeah, I'd love to get another SSD. It's a decent price for a 2 terabyte.
Sir, I think we
Oh,
are
I'd love to.
ready
I'd love to.
fire her up. Yes, Moo, I was just about to say the same.
I wonder if I can get anything for my kidney on eBay.
Do it. Moo, what have you done? Pardon me, sir, but I believe it was you who said, "This is no time for blame. You have broken the machine." Mon Dieu.
Yeah, he's the kind of bloke who'll always blame someone else for his own failings. Can I leave?
Stupid. Monsieur Stobart, you will not leave until this is over. Understood?
But I just need to...
This is a reconstruction. You will remain here until I have concluded my investigations. Do I make myself clear?
Okay,
No,
okay,
not at all.
clear.
I considered making a run for it, but forcing Moo to chase me would have been cruel. And it would have been silly to risk my investigation. Better to play along with Nave and get the reconstruction over as quickly as possible.
Inspector Nave. What seems to be the problem?
Monsieur Stobart, if Paris' finest cannot get this very expensive and very complex machine to work, then I doubt if an insurance salesman can.
I'm an insurance assessor, actually.
Oh, I see. Well, la-di-da to you, monsieur.
Oh, yeah? Well, la-di-da to you back.
Whatever. You are neither qualified nor clever enough to operate such an instrument.
Like us.
Thanks,
What was
Moo.
that, Moo?
I said, unlike us, sir.
He didn't. He really, really didn't.
Have you been a detective long?
Long enough, monsieur?
You've solved a lot of crimes, I guess.
More than you have had hot dinners.
Well, I've had a lot of hot dinners, Inspector.
Oh, yes? How many?
What?
Precisely how many hot dinners have you had, monsieur?
I don't know. Thousands?
You prove my point for me, monsieur. Precision and accuracy are everything.
You truly are a unique and amazing man, Inspector Nave.
Well, I'm glad you are impressed.
I'd probably guess I've had roughly
I was
4,000.
sure I could get the machine to work if I could just get
No,
Nave
more
out of
than
the
that.
way.
No more, like 10,000. 10,000 hot dinners, probably. So how come you're no longer working, Kevin? You retired, or medical thing, or won the lottery, or? So I think I would still work if I won the lottery. I think I'd still do some form of work.
Excuse me.
Yeah, told off for disturbing Moo here.
Please, monsieur, I'm a little busy.
Okay. That didn't work.
Can I ask you something else?
If you must.
What does it do?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Is Nave a good detective, do you think?
He's as good a detective as I am a dancer.
You light on your feet, Lane?
Do I look like I am?
Is there anything else you're not telling me, Mr. Lane?
Get lost.
Changed your opinion of Moo yet?
Who?
Moo.
Who?
Never mind. Okay, thanks.
He just likes making him go moo.
Yes, yes.
Oh, alright.
Inspector Nave. I know this sounds obvious, but are you sure it's plugged in?
Monsieur Stobart, do you really think I would be so stupid as to not check the fundamentals?
We all make mistakes.
What a ridiculous generalization, monsieur. Look, I can see from here it's... Ah.
Do you need assistance, sir? Very funny, Moo.
One moment.
That got rid of him. Now is my chance.
I was going to have to figure that out quickly.
That was more luck than
Time to
judgment.
get the show on the road.
See, Moo? I knew I would get it working.
I'm not sure that you...
Precisely. You knew my superior intellect would win through in the
Oh,
end.
Yes.
so arrogant.
Sir, I beg your pardon, but I think there is a teeny snag.
Go on.
We have no victim.
Good God, Moo. Are you suggesting I kill someone for the sake of this reenactment?
No, sir. Just saying we need a body, sir.
Ah, yes. I see. You'll make a detective yet, Moo.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Governor.
Of course, foresaw this, and I nominate you.
Me? Well, I'm not dead.
Have you ever acted, Monsieur Stobart?
How's your health generally now? Then is it
I'd like to
okay?
blow my own
Just
trumpet, but
can't
I
push it
went
too
down
hard.
a storm playing the lead in Cat on a Felt-Tip Roof last summer.
You played the cat?
No.
So, not the lead. Half-truths again, monsieur. Nevertheless, here is your chance to play a real lead role.
But he looks nothing like the victim, sir.
Oh, damn it, Moo. Must you find problems all the time? Let me think of a way to make this work.
Relying on Nave's problem-solving skills could mean a long, long wait. I had to find something to make me more like Henri. I'll have a look around. Maybe I'll find something.
Yes, you do that. Verisimilitude is the key, Stobart.
Right, okay. Oh, here comes Nico. So a gunshot wound will probably be helpful.
You have arrived at last. Please, make yourselves comfortable. We are just making some last-minute adjustments.
Father Simeon, Nico.
Hi, Josh.
Welcome to the asylum.
Let me guess. Nave is overjoyed we've solved the case and he's putting us up for an award.
Not quite. I told him about Shears and Medovsky. He says it's fantasy.
But that's crazy.
Tell me about it.
So what do we do now?
Carry on anyway, and nail Medovsky.
What about Nave?
Ignore him.
And this charade?
The reconstruction? Well, sooner it starts, sooner it's over.
Josh, what on earth is that machine?
It's Nave's baby. Supposedly, it's going to analyze the crime scene and tell us what happened.
But we already know what happened.
Sure we do. But Nave doesn't.
Quiet, please! How can I concentrate with all this racket going on?
I love him as a
James
copper, he's
right.
great.
Nave was an idiot.
You got a pacemaker. Wow, you have been through the ringer. Oh well, okay. Right.
I needed a better idea. I was going to talk about that, but then I remembered I had a lot to do.
So it needs to be more like Lane, but I'm trying to think how to do that. Not Lane,
Hello,
Henri.
Father.
Mr. Stobart, will this take long?
I'm not sure. Nave appears to be struggling with the machine.
I'll pray for some divine intervention then.
If you think that'll help.
The Lord is always listening, George.
The best place to find Henri's things was in his office.
Right, so I need scary shirt.
It was a battered sofa. It was a battered sofa. It was a statue of Henri. I opened the compartment again.
Oh, that's the safe, isn't it? Okay, just remember where the safe was. Right, okay.
Some of the stuff must have been collecting dust since the 70s. Yeah, it was certainly nothing of any use. The desk was covered with Henri's junk, and none of it was of any use. Henri's guitar. Poor man would never play it again. Some of the stuff must have been collecting dust since the 70s. The CCTV camera watched over the gallery, though it no longer seemed to be recording.
Okay. Oh, there's the glasses on Henri's head.
On the head of the statue was a pair of Henri's glasses. Maybe, just maybe, the glasses would make me look like Henri. That
No, what's on me?
It was the pair. It was a battered sofa. The window looked out on the street. Outside, it was quiet. A 1600cc Type 2 VW camper, painted in hippie colors.
Do I think...
Empty bottles.
Do I think I've got enough to look like Henri now?
Henri's notice board was covered with all kinds of junk.
Let's go on the assumption that I have got everything I need.
I found these glasses of Henri's.
Stole or found? Never mind. That might just do it.
Come on, please say it's enough because I want to get out of this room.
Come on, everyone, into position. I want everyone to stand precisely where they were when the victim died.
Oh, please say Lane's going to be... No, Lane, you're on the floor.
This process is ridiculous.
God moves in mysterious ways, Father.
Indeed. And the devil makes work for idle hands, Mr. Stobart.
He does like devil and stuff, doesn't he?
Stobart, you are supposed to be dead. Please be dead more quietly.
I tried to tell Nave the truth about his bloodstain.
Didn't he believe you? You're a man of God.
His faith is in science, Mr. Stobart, not God.
Or he's just an idiot. One of the two. I haven't had Jess here to tell me to save, so I think I better save before I get told off.
Father?
There we go,
Yes, my son.
Thanks, Graham.
You keep talking about the Gnostics. Who are they?
They are a cult. A warped branch of Christianity that reveres Lucifer as equal to, or perhaps greater than, God.
I can see how that might trouble the Vatican.
The Vatican is the least of your worries. Please be quiet!
Do you think
he's
Inspector
such an
Nave
arsehole.
will ever figure this out?
I'm not sure, although I'm no expert.
Yeah, neither is he by the looks of it. Last time we met, you said the stolen painting was evil.
Let me explain. I'm a Dominican, Mr. Stobart. The Dominican order was founded to seek out and destroy heresy.
Why?
Because heresy is evil.
Okay.
For 1,000 years we have fought against heresy. Indeed, our enemies gave us a nickname, the Hounds of God. Dominicanis, Dominican, you see?
Very clever.
Now this painting, the Benedictio, is without doubt heretical.
Whoa, hold on. How can a painting be heretical?
Because it is filled with Gnostic imagery, and Gnostics are heretics.
What kind of imagery?
Evil imagery. The Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail. Images of false saints, heretical saints.
So you think the painting itself is evil?
It trails murder in its wake, Mr. Stobart.
And murder is police work, monsieur. Silence, please, both of you.
Bloody hell, mate. Chill your
Ouroboros.
beans.
What exactly is it?
It is a Gnostic symbol. It marks something that is hidden. There are trees illustrated within the Ouroboros. They symbolize knowledge. So the Ouroboros alludes to hidden knowledge. The painting must be destroyed to stop this knowledge being revealed.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is
that
the first
referring
set
to
of
the
results
Serpent's curse then? So the
Only
knowledge that it knows
36 more to do. Please
is
remain in
bad
position
knowledge.
while we reset the machine. You may relax and talk amongst yourselves.
We were until you started yelling
Who
at
are
us.
these false saints?
Gnostic saints, not beatified by the church. They question orthodoxy, lure the unwary down dark paths of forbidden knowledge, and condemn innocent souls to the fires of damnation.
You mean like a Black Sabbath album? Do you think the machine will give the inspector some insight into Henri's murder?
No, no
He will
chance.
find the answers he seeks, but he asks the wrong questions. This was no ordinary murder. Vade retro Satana.
What's the matter?
This sounds like an album by Santana, doesn't it?
It's just a sketch.
Not just a sketch. The painting.
I wondered if it was something I'd said.
I have to get out of here. Now.
Father Simeon, I forbid you to leave. This is an official investigation.
Don't you understand? A great evil is upon us.
Oh, hello.
Painting is evil. The heretical Gnostics in league with the devil himself. The devil?
Random blokes has appeared.
Don't you understand? The Tabula Veritatis. The tablet of truth. It is real.
Well, well. Someone is upset. Pressing your witnesses a little too hard, Inspector Nave?
And you are? This is official police business?
Richard Langham, Interpol, serious art theft. We spoke on the phone, Inspector?
Ah, yes, sir.
Oh, seriously, you gonna kick his
you didn't
ass?
say you would be attending my crime scene.
What exactly is this machine, Inspector?
A little invention of mine, Monsieur Langham. It will compute whose blood this is on the floor, and...
Not to worry, Inspector. Perhaps you could move aside? I'm intrigued to see what you're up to.
Ah, of course. It is rather groundbreaking.
Pizza box.
This is ketchup.
It looks like your suspect was a Hawaiian, Inspector.
A Hawaiian? Mon Dieu! Move!
Oh,
Get
really?
onto the Hawaiian embassy, straight away. There is a surf killer on the loose. Alert the airports and the surf shops.
And you're gonna have surf shops
Sorry,
in the middle of
Inspector.
Paris.
I mean, Hawaiian pizza. Your blood stain is a pizza sauce.
Pizza? Move! You fool! Forget the surf shops. Get onto the Italian embassy. This has mafia written all over it.
Nah, Inspector,
Well, at least
if you don't
he's
mind,
onto the
I'd like to
mafia.
speak
Not the
to your
right mafia,
witnesses.
but he's onto the
And
mafia.
in the meantime, perhaps you should try and get your priest back. Madame Collard, Mr. Stobart, I assume. Can I buy you chaps a coffee?
Langham sounded a little more on the ball. Maybe he'd bring a dose of common sense to the case.
So, Inspector Nave brought me up to speed and told me about you guys.
I can guess what he said. But what's your interest in the robbery?
I don't trust this guy.
I've been tracking a gang of art thieves for some time, and this looked like a good lead.
I feel it in my bones. This guy can't be trusted.
But Nave is worse than useless. I was hoping you might be able to help.
We're flattered.
Just doing our jobs. We all are, or at least trying to. So, maybe we can help each other. I gather you insured the exhibition.
That's right, and we're liable to lose a packet.
Any
It's
leads
not all
so
about
far?
money, George. Not all about money.
Maybe. There's a Russian guy called Madovsky who turns out to be the owner of the painting.
Madovsky?
You heard of him?
Oligarch, oil, art, aluminium. Ex-KGB. Very nasty. You need to be careful. Madovsky's dangerous. He kills anyone who gets in his way.
For a cop, Langham seemed okay. Trouble with doing deals with cops, there's usually a payback down the line. But I figured that'd be a price worth paying to bring down Madovsky. We found evidence that links Madovsky to the company that installed the security at the gallery.
Interesting.
And one of these men, a guy called Shears, was in Paris on the day of the robbery.
Really?
We also found a letter from someone called Gainan wanting to buy the painting from Madovsky.
Gainan? The name rings a bell? Did you find anything else about
If this
him?
guy's dodgy, though, we
No,
are
we
literally
were in a
giving him
hurry.
every single bit of information in the world
What about the
on what
priest?
we were actually onto.
Ah, the good Father Simeon. Well, something spooked him, that's for sure.
So I gather.
He kept saying La Maledizione was evil.
Perhaps he's right. It certainly caused evil, hasn't it? I'll take leads from anyone, Mr. Stobart, even a crazy priest. Let's keep in touch. Thank you for your help. Coffee's on me, or rather, on Interpol. Miss Collard, Mr. Stobart.
So, George, what do you think?
Interesting. He seems to be on top of things.
I agree.
You know, Nico, this could start getting dangerous.
You think Langham's right about Madovsky?
Oh, he's certainly dangerous. We can
Well, he
be
appears to
fairly
be on the ball.
confident in that.
I thought he was cute.
Oh, I bet you did.
He was English, Nico. They're all cute to you.
Hidden depths, too.
Oh, yeah? What about my hidden depths?
You showed me those long ago, George. Well, I'm off home to write up the story so far. You?
I have to see a woman about a dog. A stuffed dog, that is.
You're talking riddles again, George.
Back to see Bijou.
I need to pay Bijou another visit. She's not been completely honest with me. Bijou had told me she didn't have anything to do with the business. But
She
Lane said the
lies. She
opposite.
lies.
One of them was lying.
I mean, so far, I wouldn't trust Lane more than I wouldn't trust Bijou. I mean, Lane just seems proper dodge.
Bijou, it's George again. The air was heavy with incense and alcohol. Reminded me of the old alma mater.
Oh, she's up.
What happened?
Josh, please help me. I'm lost.
Oh, it's a broken record. Oh, bless her. Sorry, bear me 2 seconds, guys. I'm just gonna try changing my settings on my microphone and things again. Give me a sec. I'm not sure if that's any better, but we'll see in a minute. Yeah, I don't know. I have fun playing with my microphone. It's great. The highlight of my day. Okay. Have a look around. No, I don't want to do that. I'll just click on this.
There was a smashed record on the floor. There was no record on the turntable. Bijou had been at the Champagne in a big way.
celebrating his death.
The joss sticks had finally burned down, but the air was still thick with incense.
The hoe their dog?
The subject looked vulnerable as she clasped her knees.
No, just her knees. Really weird knees.
Oh, help me, you must help me.
What's wrong, Bijou?
I can't play our song. I've lost Henri and now our song.
You mean the record? How did it happen?
I stumbled and trod on it by mistake.
Oh.
What song was it, Bijou?
I'm lost without it. Lost, lost.
The name of the song, Bijou.
Jasmine. It was our song.
I'll see what I can do.
Download the song.
Lane tells me you've got the provenance, that you did all the paperwork for the gallery.
Oh dear, my head is going round and round and round.
Bijou, I need to know.
All the papers are in the safe. In the gallery office. Stop asking all these questions.
Bijou, where's the key to the safe?
Henri? You're not Henri. I'm keeping the key just like Henri asked.
Could I borrow that key, please?
Oh, I need my tune. Nothing else matters.
I couldn't get any sense out of her in that state. I had to find a way to get the safe key. Who sang the song?
My darling Henri, of course.
Okay, I'm going to work on the assumption that the guy outside of Vera Security who can kind of get anything and's got dodgy random stuff, he might have a copy of it, is what I'm thinking.
I felt terrible. I was anything but a darling. All I was really after was the key to the safe.
Yeah, that's where my head's going. Yeah, he might have it.
Look, Bijou, I brought Henri's glasses.
Oh, Henri, what will I do without you?
This is the second best bit. Ah.
Please help me.
I'm feeling Dwayne's going to be at Vera Security. Gotta get Dwayne in there somewhere. Is it really a Broken Sword game without Dwayne? Oh, you can't say that. You can't say, oh, maybe later.
I arrived back at the shop.
You little tease. Sort her out, Graham. Shouldn't get my someone's hopes up like that. And dash them in the next sentence. Really harsh.
Hey, Bassam, how's business?
Good to see you, George. Gotta say, the new branding's hitting the demographic right between the eyes.
You've been drinking, Jess. I got the wrong dot soz.
This is a soft market, George. Look to the margins.
It's been one of those days, has it, Jess? You've been on the sauce all day.
What's your latest bargain?
Bargain? I prefer the word incentivizer, George. Look at the store. Something for everyone, and everything for someone.
Any other bargain?
Nothing wrong with being dyslexious.
Got a batch of phone covers.
Gotta get a new chair. This is so uncomfortable now. I used to like it, but now it just seems to hurt my ass. Oh, I thought you might have the song, but he hasn't got the song. That sucks. Actually, really hopefully he had the song.
He wouldn't want to see it. Do you like whiskey? I'm afraid it's a cheap brand.
No.
Bassam wouldn't want to see that.
Okay, so let's end the conversation and let's see if I can see anything on his stall.
I had a closer look at Bassam's stock.
Check it out, George. I've had quite a stock update, and I've got to say the metrics on some of this stuff is startling.
They looked interesting. A stack of those cards that play music when you open them.
They looked interesting. A stack of those cards that play music when you open them. Books in Greek.
George, what can I
You
do
reckon
for
one of the
you?
musical cards?
Does one of your cards play the song Jasmine?
Sounds familiar. Let me check the database. I think that's by the Hairy Lobsters.
Bassam certainly knew his stock.
He does.
Ha! Here it is.
How much?
Clever boy.
It's yours. If you mention my shop to 3 other people.
Done. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, this is a bit tedious. Why can't you just not take you straight into her apartment? I don't get why you have to keep coming in here, then walking down the street, clicking on the intercom. The first time, fine, but after that, I'm just like, just go straight to her apartment, really.
Yes?
Bijou, it's George again.
This is where it doesn't play the right song.
It played the Jasmine tune. How about this card? It plays the tune.
How song! Oh, how wonderful! Dance with me, Henri.
Bijou?
Henri? Oh, you're not Henri.
Can I have the key to the safe?
Henri, is that you? You're
Right,
not
okay.
Henri. I need Henri to dance with me.
I'd have more luck persuading her if I looked like Henri.
Oh, Henri.
That was almost a great... Henri looked very... Stealing a flower from a corpse. How low had I sunk? That was never going to work.
Dye my hair, or do I mean, I don't get what I need to do here.
Bijou?
Henri? Oh, you're not Henri.
Look at this lovely white flower.
Oh, Henri, what will I do without you?
Look, Bijou, I brought Henri's glasses.
Oh, Henri, what will I do without you?
Does this smell good to you?
Henri, is that you, my sweet?
Oh man, what else do I need then?
Can I have the key to the safe?
Henri, is that you? You're not Henri. I need Henri to dance with me.
Is that better?
Yes, but where is Henri? I want to dance with Henri.
About the provenance.
No talking, sweetie. Just dancing.
She only wanted Henri. Short of a seance, what could I do?
This bit is not too easy, but it's one of the best.
I didn't want Trevor to see Bijou in this state. It would have been unfair.
Yeah,
to
it's a bit
both of
cruel. A bit cruel on the poor Trevor.
Oh, Henri.
Fifi had pride of... Its little face reminded me of Henri.
Its coat even matched his hair. Some dogs really do look like their owners.
I get his tube.
Henri looked very much at peace. Fifi had pride of
Oh,
place.
it's the dog,
on the
but it's
table.
not.
Its little face reminded me of Henri. Its coat even matched his hair. Some dogs really do look like their owners. I didn't want to mix Mozart with hairy lobsters. I found myself at Bijou's well-equipped dressing table. I added Henri's glasses. I looked more and more like a gallery owner. Time to bring Henri back to life. Henri had more facial hair than me. I needed a brown goatee. I didn't want it on my eyes, but perhaps a slight dusting. My hair was now the same color as Henri's. Looking good, but not quite there yet. I needed to flower power my outfit. I added Henri's flower to my buttonhole. The jasmine definitely gave me that perfect hippie vibe. Getting there, but I needed a little more. I added Henri's Brett to my disguise, made my eyes water. It was working, but I needed something else. Lots of cotton buds, always handy for oiling machinery. I daubed some rouge on my cheeks. I looked nothing. I decided to clean my face and...
No!
Henri had more face. I needed a... I grabbed a strip.
F4.
I added on. The jasmine definitely gave me that perfect hippie vibe. Getting there, it was hard to see the color of Henri's eyes behind the glass. I added Henri's glasses.
Facial hair. I don't know how to do the facial hair.
Looking good, but not quite there yet. There wasn't enough hair in the brush. I cleaned my face before getting out.
Thank you for the hydrate. Is the puppy? Oh, you're going to let me drown again. Bloody hell. There you go, it's a triple swig.
Sorry, Fifi.
Yeah, that'll do it actually on him. Oh, dude. I genuinely don't think I'm far off here.
I added on. It was. Henri had more. I needed a. That would be point. That would. That would.
That would be... I added Henri's getting there, but I needed to flower. I added Henri's flower to my buttonhole. The jasmine definitely gave me that perfect hippie vibe. Look at...
How do I use the dog hair?
With my mouth firmly closed, I added the wax strip to my upper lip. Instant goatee. There. As I looked into the mirror, I saw Henri looking back at me.
Oh my god, he looks terrible!
Henri, there you are, you naughty boy. Dance with me, my little roll mop. I've missed you.
With pleasure, Cherie.
Henri, isn't this wonderful? Just like old times.
Oh yeah, bust those moves. Oh yeah, we're coming over already.
Cruising down a highway, so sweet, she got my head in a spin. Listen, babe, do you think
Bijou, darling, I need
Oh,
the
sport it now.
key. Do you have it?
Of course. Didn't I promise? Here it is, sweetie.
Oh, it's real sweaty and horrible. Oh, she's busting the move I just did. Come on, everybody. That was awesome.
Better let her sleep. I had the key. And besides, I wanted to get my hands on that letter of provenance.
I hope everyone was busting a move with me then.
I was surprised to see Father Simeon at the cafe.
George, a moment, if you please.
Is everything all right, Father?
No, my son. Not at all. Great evil is upon us. That sketch you showed me in the gallery, the study from La Maledictio, it showed an image hidden inside the Ouroboros. A dangerous image.
Dangerous?
The symbol represents a heresy, an object that the Gnostics call the Tabula Veritatis.
The Tablet of Truth?
It is a tablet of lies, a tool of Lucifer.
So, you're suggesting that this image of the Tabula Veritatis is hidden in the Ouroboros on the painting?
It is obvious now. The Ouroboros is a symbol of the Gnostics, and the tree it contained symbolized knowledge, hidden Gnostic knowledge.
How is La Maledictio connected to all this?
I believe it contains clues that point to the location of the tablet. Clues constructed for a Gnostic to solve. If someone were to decrypt the painting and find the Tabula Veritatis, who knows what evil would be unleashed upon the world?
Tell me more about this Tabula
It
Veritatis.
all sounds very pleasant and very
It's an
happy and
artifact
chirpy.
capable of undoing the whole of creation. It was smuggled out of the Holy Land millennia ago and brought to Europe by the Cathars, an evil Gnostic cult. In 1209, the Church launched a glorious crusade in the Cathar heartlands of southern France. We wiped out almost all the Cathars, and with them, the evil that is Gnosticism. My order, the Dominicans, were formed at that time to seek out and eradicate any remaining Gnostics. But we failed in our primary
Okay, if the
objective.
Gnostics aren't kind of like somehow linked to the Templars, I'm gonna cry. This game's gonna be
Presumed
rubbish.
lost, but the painting suggests it is still in Gnostic hands.
Okay, so while I've got bit of a quiet a bit in this conversation, just remember to post this. I can put it on right. Hopefully that'll work. Yay. I'm trying to get some votes for my next game series after this game, guys. So please jump onto that link and get your votes in. If you've got any other suggestions, you can click on the bottom option and you can basically drop it in my Discord or into the conversation, the comments on the poll, and then basically I'll add it to my Discord channel, and however many likes I get will be the number of votes I take for it. I believe you can do multiple votes as well, so I think you can do multiple votes on different things. Just please don't spam the same one over and over again. If there's a handful you fancy, then vote in a couple so you can get the votes in for those. But yeah, just don't go crazy and start spamming it if you would be so kind.
I still don't get,
because I don't think we've got that many episodes left.
They see God as simply the creator.
Yeah, Graham, thank you for the comment. Yeah, no spamming, guys and girls.
Lucifer is the lord of the spiritual realm.
Wow. I'm not going to say practice what you preach. I'm not going to say. I'm just too mature. I'm too grown up for that now, Graham.
Indeed. Do not let their silver tongues fool you. Their teachings hold nothing but damnation.
Were the Cathars all killed?
All that came forward to fight, but like a weed, their roots were deep. We did not fully destroy their evil.
What's so terrible about this tablet? What does it do?
Like Lucifer himself, the Gnostics could be anywhere. We must talk somewhere more private.
Well, thank you, Father. That was some story.
Be careful. Guard this knowledge. There are those who would do anything to find the tabula.
Please excuse me. I have to get back to the gallery.
I will remain here and follow you when no one is looking. I have more I must tell you.
Yes, can you turn down the frequency of Dixper from its comments in the chat? It does seem to just comment every 5 minutes. It is ridiculous how often it actually comments.
The door was locked.
Ooh, okay. That's not helpful. Oh, maybe there you go. Maybe these work. We're in. Cool. I've just got Dexper as a kind of base thing now, so it can be used in any stream if people want to use it. But by all means, you can.
I opened the compartment.
But you can make my stream more entertaining for yourselves by messing it up for me.
I needed to take a closer look.
Oh, got a diamond ring.
It had an inscription: Henri and Bijou forever.
Oh, he loved his Bijou. But isn't a Bijou a dog? Am I wrong? I'm sure a Bijou is a type of dog.
I had a feeling the ring would be useful. A note was attached to the front of the document wallet. It read, "Cherie, this should do the trick. Your darling Wilfie." Now, why would Hobbs be sending romantic little notes to Bijou? That had to be the elusive Provenance. It clearly stated that Medovsky was the owner, but I'd learned never to take things at face value. I had to take a closer look at this. At first glance, the provenance looked authentic, but something wasn't right.
Okay,
can I look at it? Previous owners all the way back to the 30s. A letterhead from a fancy London auction house and Lane's signature. It certainly looked the part.
Okay. Is it that? I'm seeing the coffee stain thing.
A list of a letterhead from a
You know what to do, so you'll shush.
That wouldn't help explain.
Oh, it felt odd. Trevor.
That wouldn't help explain why the provenance felt odd. That wouldn't help. That wouldn't help.
Nope.
Now wasn't. It wasn't.
Oh, I thought it might be ring somebody and they might be to tell me, but no, obviously not.
The handwritten note read, Cherie, this should do the trick, your darling Wilfie. Seemed like Hobbs and Bijou were on quite intimate terms. That wouldn't help
Oh, that can rotate it round must be something.
The completion note from the two documents didn't match. The sketch was drawn on similar paper to the provenance. The coffee cup stains matched exactly, as did the tear. The provenance must have been created by Hobbs. It was a fake, which meant Medovsky wasn't the true owner.
Uh-oh. Been locked in.
I had to get out there and find out what happened.
Bit late, but I like this. I like the sound effect.
Ta-da! The door wouldn't open. Something was blocking it from the other side. The glass was reinforced for sure. I wouldn't be able to smash it, and it wasn't going to open. But there had to be a way of getting through it. It was a statue of Henri. Henri's guitar.
Launch a guitar at it.
Poor man would never play it again. Henri had piled his junk against the wall. At the very back was a poster featuring a dystopian cityscape. Quite chilling. The desk was covered with all. The lava lamp bubbled away.
Well, I must have picked something
A
up.
1600cc Type 2 VW camper, painted in hippie colors. The bottle would have broken on the toughened glass.
So you see this in all the films, don't you?
The ring was just what I needed to cut through the
Apparently
glass.
diamonds can cut through glass. Not sure I believe that, but hey. Oh no.
Father?
No sticks. You must stop them.
He doesn't look a well boy, does he?
Don't let them. The tablet. They are going to raise the devil. Lucifer himself.
Those were his last words. First Henri, now Simeon. Who was behind this? And what was Simeon trying to tell me?
That someone's got an evil iPad.
Simeon had been carrying a scan of an old manuscript with a covering note. Both were written in Latin.
Let's pick up Simeon's papers. Let's have a look.
Fortunately, I hadn't forgot the Latin I'd learned at school. The note read, "The tabula veritatis only appears in one file." The Inquisition into Heretical Depravity by Nicholas Emmerich, AD 1376. Scan attached. The note was signed by the Vice Prefect of the Vatican Archives. Simeon must have done some digging after he recognized the symbol on Hobbes's sketch. The illustration showed a group of colored figures engaged in some sort of ritual.
I'm taking a few notes because I'm sure this will probably become relevant again at some point.
Control. The crowd in the foreground were colored red. It was a photocopy of an old Latin text. Although a bit rusty, my Latin was still up to the job. It read, "And thus spoke the accused. In this ritual we find succor. Clad in blue, the perfecti take the form of the spiritual and look towards the rising sun, toward the tree of knowledge. Clad in green, the credentes look the other way, towards the setting sun, where stands the tree of life. And all shall know that the light of knowledge is blue, and that the light of life is green. For thus was the light of Eden, both blue and green."
This is going to be relevant. All of this is going to be relevant.
"Pure light, white light, pure light will win. So it was written in the old text."
Yeah, all of this is going to lead to is going to be a puzzle thing later on, isn't it?
And these were the accused's last words. It was powerful stuff.
So I'll be very surprised if this doesn't have some form of relevance later on.
The third passage read, "Pure light, white light, pure light will win. So it was written in, affirmed by the tab."
Okay, so
and these were the accused's last. Interesting. There was more about light, and somehow Simeon would have known what it all meant, but unfortunately, Simeon was dead.
I'm assuming we've read everything, haven't we?
"And thus, in this ritual we find succor. Clad in blue, the perfecti take the form
Okay,
of
so
the
there's more
spiritual
to this.
and look towards the rising sun, toward the tree of knowledge. Clad in green, the credentes look the other way, towards the setting sun, where stands the tree of life." I wondered what it all meant.
Yeah, most certainly that is going to be relevant.
My God, what have you done?
Huh? I know this looks like...
Like you've been caught red-handed?
Excuse me.
It's been caught red-handed. I'm just taking a second.
Nico, hang on. Lane, it's not what it looks like.
Murdering a priest, Stobart? Is there no end to your depravity?
It's a simple misunderstanding. Look, I need to go. I'll be at Nico's apartment.
I'm sure the camera will exonerate us again.
Nico!
In here.
Oh, the old guys got hurt.
Oh, hi, Georges.
I thought you were being attacked.
When I arrived, there was someone here. He rushed me, knocked me down.
Did you get a look at him?
No, it happened so quick, and then he was gone.
Yes, she did put a mop in her pocket.
This blood. Where's Marquez?
I don't know. He must be badly hurt. Or dead.
Another stuffed dog. It's obviously a French thing.
What do you mean?
I just came from the gallery. Father Simeon's been shot.
My God! Who did it?
I don't know. But before he died, he begged me to stop the Gnostics from raising the devil.
The devil? Whoever's doing the killing, Georges, it's certainly not him.
Okay, but who? Simeon and Marquez were both attacked at the same time. Just what are we up against?
I don't know. But whoever came here was looking for something. The place has been ransacked. I'm going to clean up. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, I'll take a look around.
Okay, so we can interact with some stuff over there. Not a lot over here, definitely. Mess. That's about it. Check out the mess to begin with.
There'd clearly been a struggle. Marquez must have put up quite a fight. I spotted something in the mess. It was Marquez's family photo. Marquez wouldn't have intentionally left the photo behind.
Maybe he would.
Signs of a struggle.
Check the sofa. I'll check everything else, see if we can see
The sofa was a
anything.
real mess. But there was something between the cushions. It was one of the photographs that Nico had taken during the robbery. It showed a section of La Malediccio. Marquez had written on it. Marquez had scribbled the word Saints across the photograph.
Saints,
I
maybe?
wonder what he meant. Marquez had circled one of the figures and written Judas. I wondered if he was identifying him as Judas Iscariot. Back in Bible class, Judas was definitely one of the bad guys. Marquez had circled one of the figures in the tower and identified her as Magdalena. That had to mean Mary Magdalene.
And a pig priest. All about the pig priest. Don't think anything there's relevant, so I'll leave that for a minute.
The chair had been knocked over in the fight. But there was something glinting underneath. It was Marquez's medallion.
I hadn't done a very good job of looking into this place, had they, really? I mean, this is shocking.
It was Marquez's medallion.
Hi, Aaron. How are you? Hope you're doing
Nico's
well.
neighbor had quite an impressive coin collection.
Welcome, welcome. Check the blood out. There's going to be something glistening in the blood.
There was still quite a blood stain. I really hoped that Marquez was all right.
She didn't do a very good job of mopping it up, did she?
Hey, George, you find anything?
Marquez's medallion.
And also, these
one
two
of
must
the
really,
photos of the
really stink.
robbery.
They haven't changed clothes
Marquez
in
scribbled
days.
all over it. I think he was trying to work something out in the painting. Simeon must have been right. The painting is some kind of map.
Oh, your gym class. Yeah, you're doing your boot camp thing.
Hold on, my phone.
We're doing okay. We've made some progress.
Hello?
Been stuck a couple of times. I had to use a guide briefly, just because I was being a bit dim. But yeah.
Are you with him?
Yes, he's right here.
Mon Dieu! Stay calm, madame. Where exactly are you?
In my neighbor's apartment. But why do you...
Do not worry. I am just moments away. Be very careful. He is armed and highly dangerous.
But he seems so charming.
Trust me, madame. The leopard never changes his stripes.
No, he doesn't change his stripes at all, a leopard.
That was Nave.
First
You're
changing
in
his
big
spots.
trouble.
Lane saw me with Simeon's body. He set me up for sure.
Well, Nave's on his way, and he'll be here any moment.
No.
Down the back stairs. We'll go through Fleur's shop.
Does Fleur own a Fleur shop? Yeah, she does.
Ah, there you are. Right on time.
Sorry, Fleur, but we can't stop.
Suit yourself.
Damn it. Sergeant Moo is outside the door. He's talking to someone.
Oh no, it's Adam.
The guy's apartment.
My neighbor.
Ah, the pug lover with the trashed apartment.
That's the one.
Hey, Fleur. Great to see you again. You were expecting us?
He saw
30
it.
more seconds and you would have been caught. Charged with the murder of a priest.
Whoa. How do you know about that?
You heard them talking.
News travels fast through the ether, George. Take this.
What do I do with a ball of yarn? Bribe Moo with a nice Aran sweater?
You will find the way. Now, excuse me. I think it's time you planned your escape.
Oh, hi, Adam.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, Nico. They say I can't go up to my apartment.
No, I wouldn't recommend it.
Really? I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why too. I'm George, by the way.
Adam, I live in the apartment next to Nico.
I know. I mean, how interesting.
Fleur, can I sit here for a while until the police let me back in?
By all means.
Ooh, what's this thing?
You take a look around. I'll see if there's a way to get past Moo.
Moo. Okay, CD player. Stereo. Ironically, I can't interact with can't interact with flowers.
I wasn't sure that would be useful.
I have briefly played Valheim. I've got it. Can't say I've done a lot with it, but I have had a quick go at it.
I gave the trolley a push. Fleur certainly kept her bearings well greased.
Georges, what are you doing?
I'm not sure yet, but there may be a plan forming. I hope Moo didn't spot me.
It's really good. I'll have to have a look at it. I will have to get into it more. I was just getting used to the sort of crafting aspect of it. It seemed alright.
Sorry to bust in on you like this, Fleur.
Don't worry, Georges. I knew you were coming.
You did? So what else do you know?
There's a 36% chance of rain.
Right.
Fleur, can you help me distract that police officer at the front door?
Don't you want to play the game yourself?
Game? What game?
Oh, I thought you knew. Never mind.
That's a great comment. That's an awesome comment. You're in a game, George. You're in a game.
A little. I see great distress in his near future.
Funny, so do I.
Yeah, I do as well.
You've known Nico a while. What flowers does she like?
Yellow. No, wait. Yes. Yellow, definitely.
Right.
Would you like this diamond ring, Fleur?
That's flattering, Georges, but I think that your future wife would be upset.
What do you think of this medallion, Fleur?
Is Nico going to be our future wife is the question.
I think one day you will be glad you have it in your pocket, Georges.
Don't know how helpful she's going to be. Oh.
I have this matchbox. Anything peculiar
Meet
about
Trevor.
It has a cockroach inside.
Trevor.
Yeah. He's called Trevor.
All hail Trevor.
He prefers the name Boris, you know.
Okay,
Well,
Boris.
I think you'll find that's his patronymic.
Okay, so here goes. Here's a question for you guys in chat. Do we still refer to him as Trevor, or do we actually call him what he's preferred and call him Boris? Choices, you see. I want to set him. Got a Trevor. Okay, we've got a Trevor.
We're trapped. No way forward, no way back.
Luckily, Inspector Nave is no Sherlock Holmes.
But Sergeant Moo is a problem.
At the gallery, I just plied him with coffee. His bladder problem did the rest.
Ah, that reminds me of my late husband. Pipi Pierre, they called him.
I don't suppose you have a coffee machine, Fleur?
I'm afraid not. I don't even have a kettle.
Let's keep looking. There's always a way.
Okay.
There were boxes stacked along the wall. They were all labeled. Florist's foam, flower food, ribbon, pee-pee, bouquet labels.
Pee-pee?
My curiosity was aroused. It was a plastic statue.
Mannequin P!
Careful with that. He's just come in. Special order.
Well, that's Belgian rather than French, though.
A replica mannequin piece. Fill it with water, pop in some batteries, and watch it go tinkle.
Very tasteful. Adam was listening to an old-school portable CD player.
Oh, I could do with water. Can I get any water? I suppose I could possibly use whiskey.
Sorry to bust in on you like this, Fleur.
Don't worry, George. I knew you were coming.
You did? So what else do you know?
There's a 36% chance of rain.
What's this?
Do you not know?
Well, it looks like a cherub, and he appears to be having a pee.
See? You do know what it is.
Mrs. Martin's not coming to say hello. She's waving, but she's not coming to say.
Of course.
Can I
I can hear all your collective boos.
Yes, but please, don't break it, George.
Okay.
Hey there, Adam.
Oh, hey George. What can I do for you?
Wonderful.
Do you know what's going on with the police?
No, they wouldn't tell me.
Good. I mean, strange.
Oh, she's left
It's
Kevin, but
annoying.
I'll tell her
I'm
that you
really
said hello.
tired. It was a long drive.
Oh, been anywhere interesting?
Yeah, she just came and told me she's going to
It was
bed.
mega.
Well, that's fascinating. What are you listening to?
My meditation music.
Yeah, you're gonna need it in a
Crashing
minute.
waves and trickling forest streams.
Oh, I could do with getting that. Putting that in the
Tell me more
stereo.
about this coin fair.
It's Europe's biggest. So much to see.
I bet.
He probably wouldn't care. Adam was listening to an old-school portable CD player. Fleur's classics were blaring out into the street. I poured the whiskey into the mannequin. Sláinte, wee man, sláinte.
Might not do it yet because he might need batteries.
I placed the statue in the trolley.
Hey again. Penny for your thoughts.
Very good, George.
Can I borrow that CD for a second?
Sorry, I'm listening to it. Helps me relax.
So, where did you go again?
The coin fair? I already told
Oh,
you.
I'll give him a coin.
So, what do you think of this coin?
Oh my god, that's a platinum 12 ruble.
It is? I mean, yeah, of course it is.
You know, it's gonna be a rough day, Adam. Why don't you keep the coin?
Are you serious? I'll get my pal Stefan to value it. His coin shop's just around the corner.
Hey, maybe you could use the money to redecorate your apartment.
But it doesn't need redecorating.
Oh, it will do in a minute,
That's
mate.
a matter of
It
opinion.
will do in a minute. Obviously, it's obviously wireless. Really good range.
The lid wouldn't open while the disc was playing. I stopped the disc. Ocean dreamscapes. Just what I needed with the day I was having. Those might come in handy.
I'm getting this. Make him pee, make the music change to waves and stuff. He'll need to go to the toilet and we can get out. It's, I think, the idea.
The sound of lapping waves was affecting Moo, but I was going to need something more to open the floodgates.
I think we might be onto a winner here, people.
A jaunty series of LEDs lit up around the figure.
Go on. Yay. And he's off.
Okay, that's Moo out of the way. Let's go, Nico.
I don't know the exact story behind the Mannequin P, but basically I think in Brussels, I'm sure, I think it's Brussels, it could be a different city in Belgium, but basically there was a massive fire, and basically the story sort of goes along the lines of the fire was put out by a young lad who basically peed the fire out. There's a statue in Brussels where basically the Mannequin P is there, and there's also like a bronze plaque on the wall, and apparently if you touch it you're meant to come back to Brussels. And then you've got the Mannequin P Museum, which is quite entertaining. It's got Mannequin P dressed up in all lots of different stuff. Very exciting. I've been to Brussels a couple of times, although I didn't touch the plaque last time I was there, so I'm not going back.
I need to talk to you.
Can't it wait? Are you such a sore head?
No, it really can't.
Oh, all right.
In the daylight, and without the fog of incense, the apartment looked even weirder.
I just find it really weird if you have lots of pictures of yourself naked all over your own apartment.
May I present my friend Nico?
No, no you can't.
Go way back.
Put her away. We're not at all interested.
Really? Well, don't worry, my dear. I won't steal him, though he is rather a cutie.
Bijou, we're here to clear up a few points, if you don't mind.
Okay, right, to be honest, I think I'm actually going to call the stream there. I don't want to kind of start another section. I think from here, I think we could be a good starting point for next time. So I'm going to thank everyone for joining. I do really appreciate you guys being part of the stream. And that was an awful transition timing on my part, so I do apologise. I do really appreciate you all being part of the stream with me. I will be back on Thursday unless something catastrophic happens. But yeah, the aim is to be back on Thursday.